Hi, good evening. It is Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday. Boy, time just flies. It is Wednesday, August 17th, and we are just a few hours away from Season 3, Episode 3 of Mark My Words coming out on my YouTube channel and on most audio streaming platforms. And I'm very excited about this week's episode, which is with Letitia Francis, and she is, let me get the title correct here. She is a certified mindset coach and business foundation strategist at Black Rose Coaching, with Black spelled BAQUE, and she has a very interesting story, and I could say that about any guest that I have, so I guess I need to elaborate a little bit more. So, Letitia has, she's very genuine. Probably about as genuine as you're gonna come across. She and I felt, despite some obvious differences. I feel like we really connected as far as our struggles with just, you know, social differences and just proving to people that there's more to us than meets the eye. And I found her just how to the core genuine. Like what you see is literally what you get with Letitia. I found that to be extremely refreshing. Excuse me. I found that extremely refreshing, and she was a real joy to talk to, and I love how, I guess, we kind of went through some of the same obstacles in our career, just as far as we knew what we could bring to the table. We knew what our potential was, but that wasn't always seen by those that we reported to. And I think that that's really at the core where her and I are really connected. And I felt her personality is very dynamic, and I just found this episode to be a whole lot of fun. This is an episode that I did all the way back in January, I believe. But I had to be correct. Let me just check back in this. Not that anybody's asking earlier, but I'll check it. Pardon my coughing. Just got done walking, trying to get more exercise, and apparently I walked a little quickly that evening, and having a little bit of trouble with phlegm and whatnot. So probably a bad time. I should have waited. This is like the day of, I guess, not being patient enough. But maybe I should have waited. But I'm here now, and hope everybody is having a fantastic Wednesday evening. And let's see. So I did this episode in February, so it's not going to make a whole lot of a difference, but I did this episode in February, so it was a long time ago. Again, I have a pretty big queue of episodes, like big backlog at this point, and just starting to really work through that backlog now and get these episodes out. And it's a long time coming. And hopefully you're enjoying season 3 of Mark My Words so far. This season has been a real joy for me to do. I mean, again, oh hey, it's Karsten. How you doing, Karsten? Thanks for joining. I just not to get too far off track. I'm live here on Instagram. I'm live on LinkedIn. I'm live on YouTube. So thanks for joining. Thanks for checking things out. What the heck was I talking about? So I was talking about something. That's the trouble with looking down and getting distracted. So I guess what I'm trying to say, this season has been a real joy to work on, and I I'm one of those people I hate to like say this guest I like, better than everybody. This is my favorite season, but this has been a real good season. It's been a real joy, and I hope that that is coming across with every episode, and as every week unfolds, I hope that you're seeing that and hearing that. And I know for me, it's been amazing. It's been a great ride, and I'm still pushing along. I've got plenty of episodes coming up. I've got a lot of people booked for the podcast through the new year, and it seems like when the new year comes, everybody kind of gets pumped up for the new year, and that's when I usually get a pretty big wave of new guests. So I anticipate on continuing to just keep on going and to keep on bringing these episodes and these amazing people, these entrepreneurs doing amazing things out there. And again, it's been a real joy for me to meet all these unique people out there working real hard for themselves, pushing themselves to a level that is kind of hard to obtain or attain. I mean, it takes a lot of commitment. Just for me to come on here and say, hey, Mark My Words live, not really knowing if anybody is even going to join or watch my live feeds or whatever. It takes a certain mindset, it takes a certain commitment to put yourself out there, and not even so much put yourself out there, but to put the work in. It's one thing to put yourself out there, but it's another thing to actually put the work in. And that's really, to me, one of the core keys to being an entrepreneur, being successful at all. And I, even though I don't quite have the streaming and download audience that I'm looking for at this point, I will say that there are a lot of other things that make this podcast a success. I mean, my podcast is, I think, ranked in like the top 10% worldwide, and that takes a lot of commitment just to get to that point. Not a lot of podcasts get to that point. A lot of people, they get an idea or they say, hey, I want to start a podcast and this is going to be great. They do it for a while, then they see the kind of time commitment, among other things, that it takes, and they fall off. So while I might not be ranked number one anywhere, I do consider it a success of some sort that some of you are finding me and you're tuning in and you're enjoying what I'm doing. So I thank you for that. And that 10% ranking for me goes a long way as far as staying committed and keeping the podcast going. And my goal is to keep it growing and to keep it going strong and just keep bringing you the best guests that I can find, and hopefully the guests that I am bringing to the show you're finding enlightening, interesting, entertaining, all the above, and I hope it's making a difference in everybody's life. So, I mean, I know it's making a huge difference in mine, and it has really kind of helped to keep my spirits up and to keep me going as I try to navigate and find my way a little bit more. And I know a lot of what I said may not sound like, victories. It may not sound like a whole lot, but some of these things that I've accomplished with this podcast, they are wins to me. I mean, the quality of guests that I've had on this show just blow my mind, as Mary Shannon Mary Sharon, joins. Hello, I see you. Welcome to Mark My Words Live. So, just to get back to what I was saying, I consider it pretty big accomplishment to have just gotten all these people who find what I'm doing worth their time, and they believe in me and believe in me enough to come on my show. That means the world to me. And I mean, I know this season, I guess one reason I feel like this season is better than the other two is not because of the guests, it's because of the fact that I actually have the energy. And I think I always wound up walking away feeling very energized when I did this show in the past, but because of me having such long days, long commute, etc., it was hard. It was hard. And when you go back to certain episodes, at least when I go back to them, I'm like, whoa, I must have been really tired that day. And you can kind of tell those days when I'm just, like, I'm really excited. I really am giving my all and my best. But look, I was tired. I was waking up at like 3 in the morning, commuting into DC, then coming home in that commute. Now it's like I'm in sunny Florida. I am working from home, and that has made a humongous difference in my energy level for this show. And I think that change is probably the biggest change that, I mean, as far as like my energy level, I think my performance has always been good. Like, I really prepare for these. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say well, let me put it this way. I do prepare for these episodes. I do my homework. I don't necessarily script the episodes. I don't write down questions beforehand, and it's not that kind of show. I will get a good idea based on the materials I'm given, and I will kind of know and have an idea of what I want to do and what I want to say, what I want to talk about. But the podcast is not really scripted. It's very freeform and organic, and I like it that way. I think my guests have made it pretty clear that they like it that way, and like having that kind of conversation. And I hope you all enjoy what you get out of it when you listen. Um, but yeah, I mean, to make this podcast, I mean, at this point, you might be surprised to know. And I always like to talk about this, like every once in a while, just to put it in people's heads if they're thinking about making a podcast. My podcast, I have kept it pretty bare bones. Like, I basically I have StreamYard, which I'm going live on YouTube and LinkedIn on now, and I'm not really utilizing StreamYard as much as I could be or should be, but that's something that you gotta pay for. I'm paying a few bucks for it. I have Podmatch, which has really been a big help as far as me finding my guests. And not all of my guests have come from Podmatch, but a lot of them, especially here late, a lot of them have come from there. And what else am I using? So I have Podbean, which is kind of like a host for my podcast, and I'm paying like 14 bucks, I think, a month for that. So when all is said and done, I'm not really paying a whole lot. I don't have like a mixing board at this point. I do a lot of like the mixing and the editing in iMovie, in GarageBand, which are both applications that you get for free on your iMac or your Apple laptop. And really what I'm trying to say is, look, I spent a few bucks on the light behind me. I spent a few bucks on a microphone. I mean, I haven't really like, and this may or may not sound quite right. Hopefully, you understand the context of this, but I'm not really investing a ton of money in this podcast to make this show happen. Right now, I'm actually sitting my phone on top of the box that I got my microphone in, and just to prop it up to be able to talk to everybody on Instagram. I have my mic on my laptop box to the left of me, and that's really it. Like I have not invested a whole lot of money, and you really don't have to invest a ton of money to get started up and to just make a show. And just to kind of, if you're ever thinking about testing the waters and creating a podcast, that's really at minimum all you really need to do. You don't really need to do a whole lot more than that. And you can very easily, if you're really sitting around saying, boy, I'd really like to create a podcast, like make sure that you have a good theme for the podcast. Don't necessarily go into it just talking about whatever. Make sure you have a purpose. Make sure you have a theme. And just at minimum, have a lamp or a light that you have decent video quality. And that's even if you want to record video. You don't even necessarily have to record video. I do. I record it and I package it for my YouTube channel, but you don't really have to do all that. All you really, all I think you really, really need is a microphone, some applications to edit, just a bare minimum, do whatever edits you need to do, have I mean, have a host for your podcast. And basically, I mean, a lot of things that you need to learn, the tools are out there. Just, as far as putting tags in your episode, putting in links, putting uh, metadata like episode descriptions, etc., etc., all that stuff. I mean, a lot of that stuff you can learn as you go, but at bare minimum, I would say that that's all you really need to do a podcast, to just get up and running. And I guess at this point, I'm kind of holding out until I can actually make like some kind of profit out of this podcast before I really upgrade a little bit more. I'm making the upgrades little by little as I go, but and I guess only those of you on Instagram heard that cough. Again, right before I went on, I just ate. I just took like a 30-minute walk, and that that those two things put together equal kind of me developing a slight cough. So I apologize for that, but I don't really know why I got into all that. But I guess I'm just hoping that beyond the show and the guest itself, hopefully by me just talking about what I'm doing at bare minimum to make this podcast go and make it what it is, that it'll inspire a few people. So, anyway, I talked last time about solo episodes of Mark My Words. Those are coming very soon. Just haven't found the time. I had one day where I was inspired. I was creating episodes and had the big idea to put some of those out, and just haven't gotten back around to it. So hopefully very soon I will revisit that and start getting those out, and would love to put those solo episodes out to complement the regular show. So hopefully soon. And I think that's about all I have. I feel like I've been taking these live feeds pretty long. So I think I'm going to kind of cut it at 23-ish minutes here. I have plenty of things that I need to do here. So just wanted to come on and kind of plug this week's episode with Lakeisha Francis. It's a great episode. It's a fun episode. If you like people who are just really, really authentic and genuine, Lakeisha Francis is both of those things to the absolute core. As I was going through this episode over the past few days, kind of editing and thinking about it getting released, I just couldn't believe looking back how extremely authentic that conversation was and how authentic she is. And her work, her words, her advice, she has lots of great advice about life and just the way that she raises her family. I mean, really great advice, and she is definitely somebody worth checking out. So please go check out this week's episode, Mark My Words, and I thank the couple of you who have waved at me on Instagram. I don't know if I picked kind of a bad time the past few weeks. I have been experimenting a little bit with the time of day that I'm going live with this, so hopefully this 8, 9 o'clock in the evening time slot is a good time. I I guess I did this tonight because I know I'm not going to have time tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a very busy day for me for a lot of different reasons, a lot of personal reasons. One reason that's not as personal is that I have a recording session with Flint Jameson tomorrow night, and I met him once a few weeks ago, and he is going to be really great. I can't wait to talk to him, and that episode won't be out for quite some time. That won't be out till like, I don't even know, like January of next year. It won't be out for a while, but that I'm anticipating really good things out of that episode, and I got a lot going on tomorrow, so here I am today. So, look, if you want to hear the new episode or watch it, it's coming at you in about 3.5 hours from now, and I think that is all I have for Mark My Words Live. So, I'll be back soon enough. Maybe this weekend I'll hop on here. I know I've got a little extra time this weekend. Maybe I'll hop on and maybe I'll even have a solo episode or two to release by that point. So thanks for tuning in. And if you're watching later, thanks for watching. And go check out season 3. Go check out the latest episode coming out this Thursday, tomorrow. So thank you and bye for now, everybody.